Being nervous about talking somebody that you're attracted to actually comes from something that affects all human beings, which is known as stranger anxiety. And if you're single, it can be incredibly painful for you to get over that instinct, that fear of talking to somebody. And it only gets worse when you actually are attracted to somebody and your feelings get involved. Now, there's not many dating coaches in the world that I recommend to help you with situations like this. However, my buddy Lloyd is one of those people, and he made a video recently that's some really good advice on overcoming approach anxiety, and I thought I'd share it with you here.
What's going on, you guys? So today I'm going to be talking about a subject that is by far my most asked question. Well, maybe not by far, but it's probably my most asked question when people ask me questions during the week. I get this, I've been asked this thousands of times, and that's, Lloyd, how do I get rid of my approach anxiety? Well, actually, in this video, I'm going to do you one better, and I'm going to teach you how to destroy your approach anxiety. I'm going to give you 4 steps. This is the tip of the iceberg of what I'm going to be teaching in my workshop later this week, which is basically going to cover all of these things. I'm going to teach you how to permanently eliminate approach anxiety from your life. Now, this is not going to be an easy thing to do, so if I could summarize it in this video, I would, but I think with these 4 steps, you're definitely going to be able to cut down on it a lot. So let's talk about how to cut down on the approach anxiety in this video. So I think you guys are going to get a lot out of this with just these 4 steps. So let's begin. Okay, so the first of the 4 steps is basically stop thinking so far in advance. Okay, one of the things that I've seen with a lot of my students, and with me especially too, is that the more nervous you get, it's usually because you're thinking so far into the future. Before you walk up to her, you're thinking, oh, is she gonna laugh at me? Are her friends gonna think I'm a loser? Are other people watching me? Does she have a boyfriend? How am I gonna ask her on a date? What happens later on down the line when we're talking? What if I can't think of what to say? All of these things are coming up in somebody's head. And because you're thinking about all these things that may or may not happen, it causes you to worry a lot of this uncertainty. But if you just sat down and say, hey, you know what? Let me just say hi to this girl and see if she's as cool as she looks. That right there is going to ease your mind a lot more, because now you're just focusing on having a conversation with somebody. You're not focused on, is she going to like me? Is she going to laugh at me? Am I going to look stupid? All of these types of things that are going to cause you to worry. You're going to focus on the only thing that really matters, and that's what's really going to make for the best interaction anyway. So stop thinking so far ahead and just think, hey, let me say hi to this girl, see if she's as cool as she looks. Thing 2 is to talk to somebody else. I would highly recommend that you talk to somebody else before you talk to the main girl that you're really interested in, and that's just if you feel like really nervous. I usually don't have a problem talking to a girl that I'm really interested in if I see her and I like her, but sometimes there's times where I'm not in that kind of mode and I feel really nervous. So what I'll do is, like, let's say I'm at line at Starbucks or something like that, and I see a girl who's sitting down or waiting for her coffee, and I want to talk to her, and I feel really nervous. You kind of get that rush, and it's like, what do I do? What do I say? Well, when I'm in this scenario, what I'll usually do is I'll usually talk to the person behind me, or maybe I'll talk to the person who's taking my order. I'll just ask them how their day is going, blah blah, and that kind of gets me into the social mode a little bit more. So if you flex your social muscles a little bit, the main, it's kind of like when you're in the gym, where if you warm up a little bit, you get ready for the bigger lift. Same thing with working your social muscles. You work them a little bit, then when you go talk to the girl that you're actually really into, it's going to be a lot easier for you because you've already practiced. A lot of times we call this warming up. Step number 3 or tip number 3 rather, is going to be to know what to say. And this is really something that I'm going to be focusing a lot on during the workshop too. We're going to have a list of questions for you to turn to. If you're thinking about, if your mind draws a blank and you can't think of what to say next, just turn to one of these questions and your conversation will be right back on track, okay? A lot of times these are small talk questions. These are some questions where she can just see that you're a normal human being. You can kind of relax yourself and then be free to tease her, be free to flirt, be free to be fun and playful, and all of those things that's going to make her like you more. So we'll go cover those list of questions. If you want a quick list of questions right now, I highly recommend that you check out my video on 5 questions I ask every girl when I'm out. Those are basic small talk questions. It's just like, how are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And what are you up to? This is, I think, 4 of them. Okay, I go a little bit more in depth in the video. We're definitely going to go more in depth on that workshop too. So step number 4 is going to be okay with being nervous. Being nervous is fine, man. Like, I get nervous all the time too. You know, before I'm about to talk to somebody, before I'm about to, you know, even for a job interview. Well, I haven't done a job interview in a long time, but you know, if I was doing a job interview, or before I do a presentation, or maybe I'm doing a new project for this business or something like that, and I get nervous sometimes. Being nervous is okay, dude. Being nervous is fine. Anybody, no matter how good looking or rich they are, they all get nervous. But it's how you deal with the fear that really separates yourself from someone who's going to be unsuccessful with women and someone who's going to be really successful, okay? Don't let the fear control you. And the best way to let the fear control you is to try and fight it. The more you fight the fear, the more energy it takes you. But if you just sat down and said, hey, I'm nervous, interesting, I think I'm going to talk to her and see what happens. That's what I like to tell myself, you know? Being nervous is okay. It's not something that you have to get rid of. It's not something that, you know, is required for you to not feel at all before you act confident. Dude, some of the best dating experiences that I've had, I was nervous before the date, or I was nervous before I went up and talked to her the first time. I think a little bit of nerves is good. It shows you that you're still human. So embrace those, stop beating yourself up, and it's gonna be a lot easier for you to face that fear once you've accepted it. And that's actually something that we're gonna be going more in depth on in the workshop as well too. You know, asking yourself, where does this fear come from? You know, why am I experiencing this emotion? So that you can actually face what's truly causing the fear head on. And that's super important when it comes to actually being able to eliminate this stuff for good. So again, if you're interested in joining that workshop, there's a link in the description box below. Click on the link, fill out the form, and I'll be seeing you soon. So thanks for watching, you guys. If you made it to the end, consider subscribing. I come out with videos like this every single week. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Good luck out there, you guys.